All right, we're live.
All right, I was going to wait a little bit for LinkedIn to catch up. Not going to happen.
Welcome to another episode of the Misfits, and here it goes. This is how this is going to work. We were a little bit more organized tonight, actually, so that was kind of impressive.
Thank you. We started on time, I think.
Maybe. Close. Really close.
So how would everyone stay?
Everybody has so much to say.
Well, we just need someone to say something. Well, first, let's welcome you in, Felicia. It's wonderful to have you here. Welcome to the island.
Thank you very much. Aloha.
Aloha.
Here on the island with you guys.
For people who may not know you, can you, just before we get in, because we're going to, of course, jump into lots of good stuff, just share a little bit about you and who you are and, you know, what you're doing.
Yeah, so aloha everyone out there. I'm Felicia Miller-Johnson. I'm the Smart Coach. I operate Sevenfold Coaching. There was a time that I was overwhelmed by work-life stress and imposter syndrome, and I had my come to Jesus moments, which caused me to go on a spiritual ascension to become a more happier and confident wife, mom, and soulpreneur. So now I operate Sevenfold Coaching and helping others to find their work-life balance and teaching them how they can live smart. I am here in the Little Rock area and enjoying life.
Well, welcome. Thank you. We can talk about it every week, or some of the stuff that Felicia just brought up. I know is things that we have talked about before. Certainly that imposter syndrome, and sort of a little bit, I think, of what I was talking with you guys about before we came on. But whoever wants to jump in.
Talking about imposter syndrome, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So I can jump in if you're not ready. I mean,
aloha, Brian. Yes, thank you. Oh yeah, it's those feelings. It's that the doubt. Always how mine showed up is always feeling as though I had to be twice as good. If you're watching this, I'm an African American female, so it was not only are you a woman, but you're a minority, so you always got to be on your A game. You may not get another opportunity to do that. But the irony of that is that there was a goal and a drive to succeed, which brought success. But then when it started becoming overwhelming, so, high school and college area is just me. I can manage that. That's good. Cool. Okay, now I throw into that marriage. Okay, now I got to deal with the dichotomies of another human being and the relationships. And, now you want to add a kid and add another kid and you want to add owning your own business. So it was like I got overwhelmed, and it was just like, okay, you're gonna have to show me how to do this. And so it's the process of figuring out what I can release, what serves me. How can I release the whole work smarter, not harder, because I wanted to live smart. And so now it's letting other people, putting a name to it. A lot of people have these feelings, but don't call it imposter syndrome. It's just like, oh, is that what that is?
Right. We just think we're inadequate. We don't. That's all. Yeah. And I think it's easy when you get overwhelmed to feel that way, right? You're not, especially when you're overwhelmed. I don't feel like I'm doing anything well, right? And so then I'm just adding to all of it. And I definitely walk around and think, and as a speech pathologist, I've been doing it for 21 years, and I always think, well, somebody's going to figure out that I have no clue what I'm doing. Somebody's definitely going to figure out that I have no clue what I'm doing. And, one of the things that I've really liked that's happened for me in the last year is this notion of like, I can't get it. If I'm telling my story, I can't get it wrong. I can't be an imposter. If I'm telling my story honestly and fully, there's no room for imposter syndrome because I own that. That is me. And that's been really freeing. For me in this past year, and starting to understand a little bit more about that, and some other things that along the way I'm gaining knowledge on. But that's been really powerful to me. Is imposter syndrome is a construct. We all know, we all fall prey to it. It's part of our report card. But if I'm doing me, if I'm being me and living my life, that's in line with my integrity and, whatever I need is in line with my heart and my head and my soul, then I can't be an imposter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's interesting. So again, like the experience, sometimes what can be challenging is that, especially in the workplace, is that there are times where you feel as though, as a minority female, that when I go into the workplace where at that time, which is majority of a lot of our, time is spent in our life, is that they don't really see Felicia.
Right.
There's this like facade, because it's like if people really would see me, it's like I might not be in this space. And I think sometimes that's why imposter syndrome does affect minorities more, is because it's like you have this work self, then you have this home self. And so when you have that polarity of, well, who am I really?
Right.
Like I'm this way here, but here I'm this way.
And what happens when you can't keep them straight?
That's really usually when the crash happens, because you get it's tiring.
It is exhausting. Okay, we got Jaris and Jen, who are usually our quiet ones. So we're not letting you get away with that.
I have a lot to say on this one actually right now.
Oh, awesome.
I'm a bit ready to talk about it. Not just for the day, but for the topic. Guys, I can tell you, for me personally, this one actually came up in conversation earlier with Michael today. For myself, even looking at, when we look at the gifts that we have to bring to the world, right? And those moments that we step into our power and say, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. And then we stop ourselves and say, shit, am I really ready, or am I just playing a part? And for me, it's a brilliant thing in the fact that I look at myself for advice of what I bring to all my other conversations. And in 3 other conversations today, I come back to, and both of you alluded to it, number 1 is, who do I want to be? How do I want to show up? When I cut it all aside and say, as a human, what's my North Star? And what's that look like? And what do I want that picture to look like? What do I want to bring to the world for people? And how do I want to impact them? How do I want to serve them? And then tying in, Nancy, to your point about all the values, and what do the values look like for me with integrity and honesty and being happy and holding space for other people. And then really teaching people, you know who you are, you know what your North Star is. When you go outside of it, when all these things are coming at us, not letting it pull us in a different direction, right? Because we know our focus, we know our North Star. And if something else comes in, we can just block it out and say, no, that one's not my turn yet. And that one's just a not yet. So.
Yeah, and I do like that whole idea of whatever's coming at me, if my core is strong, if I'm centered and grounded, I'm not going to be, I'm not going to falter. I'm not going to be influenced so much that, I can't handle what comes at me.
Right.
I know for me, we had this conversation on Clubhouse yesterday, actually. And a lot of people feel the same way. I didn't even know what imposter syndrome was, but I knew growing up, I never used or listened to my own voice. I would always listen to what everybody else. And this was like this up until maybe 5 years ago. I think I shared this with you yesterday, Felicia. I'm not sure if it was on Clubhouse. I know it was on Clubhouse, but I think I told you. We spoke yesterday, so this is kind of like, but so yeah, it's just weird for me because I'm 35 and I'm just now beginning to know what I like, what I don't really like, what's even fun to me. Somebody asked me the other day, man, what do you want to do is fun? And I'm like, because I've always was the type of person that it was okay if the crowd wanted to go to the movies. All right, I'll go. I never spoke up because I just didn't know. Just looking on my upbringing, the way I was raised, I was having this conversation with my mother as well. And she told me the reason why I'm like this because I didn't have that extra confidence. She never gave me that, or my daddy didn't give me the confidence of saying, okay, this is how you should do this, or you're doing a good job at that. So I would just go along, even in my career. I would take jobs and do things because other people would tell me, hey, I think this would be a good fit for you. And I'm like, all right, well, if you say so. And I would give them my own. 9 times out of 10, it worked for me. But I learned looking back that living like that helped mold me into the person I am today, and to make the transition to do what I'm doing today because it was exposed to a lot of different things. So looking back, I wish I had spoke up and had the courage to do that because, imposter syndrome, being an introvert, mixing all that together, having anxiety like crazy, you can imagine how I was coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, y'all realizing that code switching. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I see y'all in the comments.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to fit
Mike,
everything.
what's up, Mike?
I mean, when I look at imposter syndrome, for me, it's all about worth, right? Like I my issues with self-worth and believing in myself have always been my issue, right? Like, obviously my gifts have been proven live on the air, right? Like, I've proven my gifts. And I still question myself all the time. I still don't believe I'm worth it. I still don't believe I deserve it. I still don't believe that, individually that my worth is there. And those are issues that I currently work on daily. And it takes time, right? Like, 41 years of believing that you're worthless and a sack of shit and better off dead, then you're better off, at that point, you start really believing it, right? Like, so this is a major reprogramming that I'm doing. And it's a process. It's all about being authentic to where you're at the moment, right? And I have no problem putting it out there. I'm great at doing that. I put it all out there. So most of the time, too much, and that's fine. I'm okay with that, right? Like, it doesn't bother me. I have zero to hide, and it's just very difficult for me to stay within my own skin and be who I am and what I am, and prove it on a daily basis, while also being okay with it. Like, it's, we're all unique. We all have gifts. We all have abilities. And, every single person on this planet does, whether they believe it or not. And some people call it intuition. Some people call it good sales. Some people call it this. Some people call it that. For me, I just call it what it is. It's abilities, right? And these are gifts. And, it's challenging at times. Like, even being in public for the first time today in 14 months, like, it was awkward at first. It was very strange. I felt like, this energy ball just bouncing all over the place. And next thing you know, I'm sitting there looking at every person around and saying exactly what they're going through at the moment and what they've been through their whole lives. Like, the first thing I start doing is just sitting here and going through an inventory of every person around. It's a lot, there, with great responsibility comes whatever it is. With great power, there comes great responsibility. Whatever it was that Uncle Peter said or whatever. But like, it was to it's a lot. Like, being alive today is challenging enough, right? Like, living in this world, living in this chaos, being able to, be there for other people while also working on yourself is such a unique ability to be able to do. And it's a gift to share with others, because then you're showing them a path, right? It's not saying, oh, look where I am now. It's, look what I'm going through now, and still overcoming and getting there. This imposter syndrome, this worth issue, whatever it is, like, for me, I default to a worth issue just because for me, that's the core of what it is. But it's all the same thing to me, right? Like, it's all the same. Did I answer the question?
Yeah, you answered the question.
Jaris, you going?
No, go ahead.
No, so it's an interesting perspective for me, because I'm just coming to understand my gifts. Like, to me, it's always just been who I am and the type of conversation I have. And, just when people come to me, and often do come to me, you know, with something after a conversation, things feel more resolved, or they feel more grounded, or they feel like they have a better direction. And I just sort of always thought, well, it's the therapist in me, right? That's what it is. And coming to learn that it's not. I was just saying to these guys beforehand that, when that voice speaks to you, and that intuition, whatever you want to call it, and you share it, to me, I think I was waiting for a voice, like to hear a voice, not the concept of, well, when that thing pops into your head, that's it. You're the conduit. This is what you're seeing. This is what you're sharing. That piece of saying, okay, well, so what I'm feeling is, or what I'm seeing is, and on Sunday with Jaris, there were a couple of times I think I said it. I have to go back and watch. I want to sort of observe myself now that I'm aware of saying, like, well, the word that keeps coming to me, or the thing that keeps coming to me. And so it's interesting for me, because I'm first entering into. I've always lived sort of like, I know I'm intuitive and empathic, and I believe in the universe and the energy around me, and the infinite flow of things, but I never considered my specific role in it as someone who can be the conduit for it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Nancy. I was, after my conversation with Mike one day, I realized when he was like, why are you hiding? And I say, as a person who wrote a book about imposter syndrome, and I was like, I didn't really think I was hiding. Right. But come to find out, I was, in the sense of, I did not like my family, like my husband. I've been with him over 20 plus years. And I never really just came out and said I had this clairaudience ability, this hearing. And so I was doing like how you were just describing, as far as in coaching, it would be like I was hiding underneath my experience, my life coaching certification. This is what I would say, versus, hey, I got this word in my ear. Hey, this is the word for you. So I was absolutely hiding, but at some degree, it was still being revealed. Like with my husband, when we were having that discussion, and like how I'll say this, like when we met, I have always explained the story. When I was writing, now this is old school out, when I was writing down my pager number, because back then, you could filter that. And so I was like, the voice said, no, give him your home number. So, that was personal. That's like access, back then, hard to call somebody and all that, right? Like, ooh. So I was like, okay, so I ashed it out. So when I'm, explaining certain situations, like with him, he was saying that, he was like, yeah, you've always explained it that way, but I never connected that to a spiritual gift or anything like that. But it's like, I would encourage anybody that's out there, like, we all have some gift. It's like, are you just really tapping into that? Maybe we're just like the imposter syndrome. You might have imposter syndrome, you're just not calling that. You're having these hearings and knowings, you're just not calling it clairaudience or intuitive. Like, what's the word that you are using with your abilities? So
like knowings. I just wrote down knowings. That speaks to me, because it's a knowing. Yeah.
Yep.
And for me, it was like, really today was a conversation with someone who is well, quote unquote, ahead of me on the journey, has been doing it longer than I, quote unquote, have been doing it. Has been doing it purposefully for a really long time. And what really struck me, there was an amazing amount of wisdom exchanged, and I was writing notes nonstop. But when I hung up, what really hit me was like, okay, he just had the conversation with me the way I have the conversation with other people. And that made me realize, like, okay, there's nothing special that's going to happen. Like, you're not going to see something, like the heavens aren't going to open and tell you you're ready. There's nothing to learn. You can't read a book. It's, you just need to step into it and trust it and stop resisting it. And, one of the words that he and I kept using was allow, just allow it. But it was interesting to have to see somebody else do it for me, to see myself in the process, how I do it for other people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I say hashtag coaches have coaches. Like, like we all have these different experiences, but it's like we're a mirror of the reflection. you know, and I'll just take it back to the whole Mike, you know, our connection. I literally thought we was getting on a call to be talking about me appearing on his podcast, and he was, you know, eating his chicken noodle soup, laid back, and he literally said, "So, what are we really here to talk about?" And I'm like, "You tell me." And we just had this whole exchange. But what was interesting is that, you know, like how I've connected with many people after that, because that's what he does, right? And then later on, he shared with me, like that was a mirror as well for him. But you know, Mike, you can speak more on that. But it's like we're all reflecting and shining like for each other. So, Raquel, I see you. So I saw you jumped in. I hope I'm doing you proud.
I say Raquel, my bestie is not in here, but she's out. She's out feeding her soul tonight. She really needed.
She popped it on the chat. Like
I know. I saw her. So and yeah. Hi, bestie. Sorry. Yes, you're doing you justice, Felicia. It's not about doing her justice. You're doing you justice.
Yeah.
Jaris.
Yes.
We you know, just quickly, because I know we had this conversation on Sunday, but I kind of had that conversation with you on Sunday. That was me doing the thing that I don't know I'm doing, and I'm wondering how it's been for you this week, because I know you were gonna, you know, not make some changes, but maybe just allow, right? Not make it happen, let it happen.
Yeah. Still rolling strong. What I'm learning to stop beating myself up so much, because I have insights, I have a strong feeling, but I'm learning to just be the flow, be in the moment, to appreciate what I have going on now, because I'm learning something. I'm learning very quickly. I'm evolving very fast. That to surround myself with like-minded individuals is the best thing that I need to be doing now, because I'm not being sucked. I'm not being pulled in different directions. That's why I enjoy this group so much. And I think that somebody touched on it. This is what's helping us. We're helping each other. Everybody's light shining together is helping each one of us recognize the direction and the paths that we are on. And I'm not going to rush anything. You know, it ain't been a week yet, but I can say by me setting boundaries, by me just saying, hey, look, I'm going to take care of myself. And like Mike, we got to give the credit to Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Just kind of slowing down, not trying to be, hey, this is going to be the law. Just saying, you know what, when it's time for me to do what I need to do, just make things happen. And so that's what I'm learning, to just be cool, to be happy, and to not beat myself up so much.
You know, and if for those of you who haven't yet connected with Mike, when you think you're just having a conversation, when you think you're just having a conversation, you know, for his podcast, his live show, his next whatever he's developing, just know you're not. It's never going to be surface with Mike. If you're willing to take a good conversation and make it even better, then you've got a friend in Mike for sure.
So Jen, I'm not trying to throw you out there, but I was talking about you all day, and I'm like, you know what? I've had an offline conversation with everybody, even though Nancy and we have not really been offline, but we just, you know, send voice notes and we do our thing. But Jen, I appreciate you. I appreciate your energy, because it's something about you being on the screen is just calling me like, you know, you need to have a conversation with Jen offline.
Thanks for that. Definitely agree. We need to have a conversation. And there's so much in this one, you guys. When I look at my journey as it relates to imposter syndrome, you know, and I think it happens all too often, is I made myself wrong and bad and shamed and guilted myself for the thoughts I was having. And because I was young and I was uncertain and I had other influences that were telling me that my voice didn't matter and I was wrong, then that imposter syndrome got amplified. And I think all too often we don't teach, especially those of you who know me best know that I'm passionate about, especially in our kids, because that's where we really have a chance to mold them. And if we take that opportunity to really lean in and say, here's what you're thinking, here's how you're feeling, and allowing them to have their own feelings and thoughts, that's how we, to my perspective, can prevent some of the imposter syndrome when we get older and prevent some of the anxiety, because we're going to naturally say, you have thoughts and you have feelings and you have perspectives, and they're all yours, and you can own every one of them. And no one can tell you your voice is wrong.
Right. And letting them know they're valued and seen. And so how they show up is what's important.
Right.
You know, who you are, showing up as who you are is the important part, not trying to be something else.
Right. But I think now, and I look again to this conversation, and for me, I think the best offering that all of us have is to keep encouraging others. I think to my conversations today and in all the hearings that I have when someone is disempowering themselves or that imposter shows up for someone else, sometimes we can hear it in someone else where we can't hear it in ourselves. And if we can both be responsible to each other and for each other say, wait a minute, Michael, here's what's the real deal right now. And calling each other out and having that trust and faith in each other to say, Jen, you're defeating yourself right now, or Jaris, you are, and being that, but also being that in our communities, that's how we lift together and strengthen together.
Yeah, and I think we've said that a million times about this, right? This space is really special because we all can, it's held space. It's held space for us to be vulnerable, to work out things, to just absolutely enjoy life together and, you know, everything in between. So, you know, we honor this space by, you know, showing up every week and remaining real and showing up how we are and who we are.
Yeah. Nervous on video and all.
Well, because we're just talking to each other. There's nothing else. Nobody else.
No.
Michael, I think something. There's something to be said for being willing to take that criticism from people that you trust, right? Yeah. Because when you create a safe space, you've got to be willing to take that criticism, right? You've got to be willing to understand that it's coming from a loving place. Like, I mean, I'm to the point, I'm either a masochist or I really just want to fix my issues, that I literally tell people to call me out of my shit because I just don't want to deal with it anymore, right? Like, I know that I've been dealing with it my whole life and I want it done. You know, I know that's a part of it and I just want it to be gone. I tell people to call me out on it because I don't want to be it anymore. Mm-hmm. But I also feel like in some ways there's part of my imposter syndrome, my lack of worth, whatever the heck you want to call it, that it also makes me humble in a way. Because, you know, everybody says such great things about me, right? And I'm not downplaying that. I mean, what I can do is beautiful, and how I help people and reach people is amazing, right? And I have these abilities and I use them and I truly help people daily. And I love doing it and I go out of my way to do it daily. Why do I keep moving? And it's because
you're talking. Because I have control and I'm ADD. So come on.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe there's a shuffle key. Is there a shuffle key where it just keeps spinning us around? They should invent that. StreamYard. There you go. But I feel like, you know, it keeps me humble a little bit too, right? Because, you know, hearing people call me Professor X, hearing people say these great things about me, and, you know, that I reach them in one phone call and how I impact their lives and change their lives. And I do it. I know I do it. And I'm not saying I don't. I'm not taking that away from myself. But that's really easy to get an ego about. Like, it's really easy to slip into ego and be like, you know what, call me and your life will change. And if you don't call me, go F yourself, right? Like, it's really easy to slip into that moment as a human, right? So the good news is I'm only partially human, right? So I don't have to worry about really falling into it too bad. But I do believe that, you know, my lack of work does benefit me in that way also. As much as that's probably contradictory, I do see where there is a benefit to it. And I'm hoping that as I evolve and as I grow worth and value, that more humility keeps coming in maybe a different way rather than, you know, self-deprecation or whatever it might be.
I like when people call me on my stuff. I mean, I recently had a snip with someone and they nipped back, you know, like, and I was like, huh. And so then we had the little back and forth, and of course I hung up because I know myself, and I'll go to a place that is irreparable because I'm good at fighting. But you know, what was nice is that they did, like, that was their way of calling me on it. And I have said for a very long time, like, I know I can be a bitch. When I was single years ago in my 20s, my brother was like, okay, well, what are you looking for? And I said, I want someone who's always going to start with, I love you, but they're going to say, I love you, but you're being a bitch right now. Because I don't want someone to let me run all over them or run, you know, go down that path so far. You'll always start with, I love you, but I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. And so when people check me, those are the people I know. Raquel do it to me all the time. This whole group does it. Those are the people I know who really love me and are really on my side, really want what's best for me, really see me for who I am, and really see the potential in me to continue growing.
So when did y'all get to that point? Because, you know, real talk.
Today.
I'm about to say, my thing, because of, you know, my imposter is like the critique and criticism and feedback. I didn't like it. Because it was like, it meant as though that there was something lacking. The key word for me, I failed at something. And so that was counterintuitive to my partner saying, like, you got to be perfect, you got to bring your A game all the time. So
if you bring your A game all the time, how are you learning?
But that's how I was raised. That's what I'm saying. So it was like, you get to this breaking point, so to speak, when you're like, you can no longer, for me, keep up that facade anymore. Now I'm open to that. I'm in a better place. But you know, there was a time I ain't want nobody telling me none of that. I mean, it was a trigger for me, you know, and it was like, and then don't let it come from somebody that I was like, what do you know? Like, how are you gonna tell me? So it's kind of like, even now, you know, are people sharing information or giving that feedback, like you said, from the love and lights, or are they wanting to break you down? So like now I'm more skilled and sense more of that energy where you're coming from. But before, it was just all, for me, clumped together, and I just didn't like it. And don't want any of it.
Right, we're not doing this.
Yeah, we're not having this conversation. But I'm with you too, you know, Nancy. Like now it's like, yeah, okay. I know I may be, you know, on my cycle or whatever. Like, I know I ain't right now. So let me just go in my room and mind my business.
That was me. I'm gonna hang up on you right now. Although the first time I did it, I didn't say that. I just hung up because you feel your own energy and you're like, nope, gotta cut this off right now.
Right. So it's like the growth in that, right? It's just like, okay, I know it's me. I can admit that now. Like, it's me. I'm not right.
I don't know when that happened for me. I feel like, you know, at an early age, I was asking for it. I think it took me a long time to fully step into it. But I think once I was comfortable being seen, and I had done the hiding thing for so long, and as if my life depended on it because it felt like it did. When I started to like peek out, and it was okay. Like, people still loved me. People wanted to support me. People weren't disgusted by me. People, you know, understood. Little by little, it's like, yeah, well, I'm discovering who I am, and the people in my life that see me, I so appreciate them reflecting back, both positive and negative, quote unquote negative. Positive, you know, the places where I'm strong and the places where I have room for growth. Those things are important to me, and yeah, you get better at judging who that is. But that loving course correction is huge. And like I said, I am lucky to have a growing group of people who do that for me. It's a gift. And yes, can you bristle? Yeah, I can. But it doesn't mean I can't ultimately take it in and say thank you. Mm-hmm. All right, Jaris, I'm putting you in the middle. You know what that means?
Yeah. So I noticed for me, when I got in these management positions, I would always, you know, start at these companies as a temp and work my way up. And it would always become a heated argument between me and another employee that I was friends with. But the friendship would change because I would literally go from being a friend to having to be their boss overnight. So one day, me and this guy, we was doing something and we was working, and we just gone. I mean, the argument just started to get heated because we had missed something. So I had got chewed out for it, so I'm chewing him out for it. And I'm like, man, how did we miss this? And he stopped and told me, he says, man, stop blaming me. You the supervisor, it's your fault. And I was like, yeah, you're right. You're exactly right. And from that moment, it changed my perspective on life to know the position we're in, guys. We are elevating. We are leaders because we don't mind following. We have followed and we will continue to follow. I consider myself a leader not because it means anything. It's just a word, but I lead by example. And I'm understanding the importance of every time I get on live, every time I have a conversation with somebody in real life, there are a lot of people who appreciate us for just being ourselves, just coming outside of their comfort zone because we are giving others encouragement, support, and help and guidance just by being ourselves. So it does mean something. And to touch on the ego thing you was saying earlier, Mike, I've never really had a problem with that, but I think a little bit of it is needed, because it gives us confidence. Now, with everything, it's balanced to me, but it's such an ugly stigma behind that word. And so many people are telling me, you got a lot of good stuff coming on, success is coming your way, blah, blah, blah. Just watch your ego, watch your ego. And I'm like, I'm the humblest person I've ever been, But I'm thinking now, not taking credit, because I guess that's a lack of word, but just understanding the effect that we have on others is important for me, as far as I'm concerned, because that gives me confidence to keep doing what I'm doing. So I think a little ego is necessary. Let me tread carefully. A little ego is necessary, in my opinion, for those people who are like me, who are already humble. Now, if you have a problem with taking credit or ego already, then you need to, think about that. But speaking on my behalf, I'm like, maybe, Mike, I don't like your opinion on this. Maybe we do need to say, you know what? We are helping people. We are changing the world. I mean, the creator, in my opinion, he knows who he is. He doesn't have to say it every day, like, I did this and I did that. But it does feel good to know that we are doing our part.
Yeah. Well, and for ego in that, it's sort of that. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so their answer to your question. For me, if I'm leading by example and I'm doing things the way I need to do, I don't say a word to anybody. It's purely my actions speak for themselves, right? I don't need to express. Everybody says it, right? Because sometimes I'm quiet about my accomplishments. I don't talk about them a lot. I don't go around and, talk about all the business crazy things I've done in this world. I don't talk about everything that I've accomplished. It's on my LinkedIn profile. I just don't talk about it. People don't look at it, so it's not on me. I don't care. At the end of the day, I don't, there's certain avenues I just don't talk. I just let my actions speak for everything I do. It is, don't get me wrong, it feels humbling, amazingly proud and great to hear everybody say these things, and it does. And I actually appreciate it and receive it today, which is a difference, right? Because in the past, I never would have believed that I was worth receiving it. So that's a big improvement. But I don't really say it. I don't need to say it, right? I'm not good at writing about myself. I'm not good at speaking about myself. I'm not good at talking about myself. But you know what I'm good at? Being myself, getting on the phone and making that impact and letting that person tell somebody. I don't need to do it, right? Here's 4 people right here that will go say it on my behalf every day of the week. Somebody gets on the phone with one of you 4 and says, Mike is a selfish, SOB that just is out for himself. All 4 of you would stand up and probably hang up on him or rip him a new one, because you'll be the first one to say, this is what Mike's done. If you're not receiving it right, then you need to go look somewhere. You need to look in the mirror, right? And granted, again, right, we've all talked about how harsh I am. Well, I say how harsh and blunt I am. You guys really don't say it. But, you know, I talk about it, right? But that's also, I'm just really direct, right? I don't mean to be nasty. I don't mean to be mean, but I'm just direct. And a lot of times people can't handle direct. They're not used to it. And that's, in some ways it's on me, and in some ways it's not on me. I'm not meeting people where they're at exactly. But I'm also just being true to me.
So Jaris, like I said, I'm new, so I'm going to put this on this caveat. When you were talking about the creator and we're talking about being humble in what we say, one of the reminders for me is that, you know, when I call God was creating the whole earth, and after he did something, what did he say? Oh, it is good. Like, he acknowledged his work, like, I did that, like, this is good. And then he did something the next day, and then on that last day, you know, he rested. So it's kind of you know, that reminder of, it's like, it's okay to acknowledge the work that you've done is good. That doesn't make you completely egotistical. So
I'll just go straight to the nap. I'll go straight to the day off and take a nap.
Well,
Jen,
in terms
what were
of
you going to say, Jen? Oh, sorry, Nancy. I'm sorry, Nancy.
why
You're
are
in
you
the bottom
sorry?
corner, Nancy.
That's okay. Nobody puts baby in the corner. I'm okay.
that's right. You gotta say that.
I was
Baby
just
put
like,
baby in the corner.
when ego comes up for me, I sort of have to check myself and be like, well, who are you? Who are you to think that you are? Like, I am special because I'm the conduit. We're all special, right? But it's not me. It's not me. Like, check your ego, girl. It's not you. You know, that is one of my conversations with myself. And that's, I think, an important one, right? To remember, it's not me. It's me allowing. It's me allowing, really. All right, now it's your turn, Mike. No, Jen was going.
Yes. I have so many thoughts on this one, just in all the conversation, you guys. And Felicia, coming back to what you had said earlier, you know, I look to me as when I first started as a leader, and I was a young leader. Like, I think I got my first manager position at 18. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I knew nothing, but all I knew was I had to look a certain way, right? I thought I had to be a certain somebody. And as a young manager, I had to excel. And I had all these images in my head. And it inadvertently, I stumbled all over myself, and I made all kinds of mistakes and showed up in ways that I'm not proud of all the time, because that passion came out as bluntness or directness. And I didn't allow myself to learn. And somewhere along the lines, I think it was early. I'm not even going to guess when it was, but in that shift of, instead of putting up a guard and not listening to my employees, in that shift of actually pivoting and saying, what can I learn from all these people that are bringing me their information and that are showing me their perspectives, it allowed me to understand the human level differently, because all of us see things so very differently. In my opinion, if we can better understand, here's these 20 humans, these people that all think differently, act differently, respond differently, have different emotions, have different feelings. And if we can understand who each of them are and lead them and guide them based on their individual needs, that's how we all grow, and learn from them along the way, so that when Felicia comes to me and says, Jen, you're doing this and this is how it's making me feel, making the space where they can share that, but then also shifting how we're leading them based on what they need, we all win. And again, we all grow in the meantime, in my opinion.
Well said.
Love that. Yeah.
Love that.
Thanks.
Say I gotta go up and opposite of where I want to go. Nope, shoot.
You're right.
Eventually, yes. To really think about it, and I still don't get it. See, Mike's over there.
So,
Like, Jaris is over there.
I have a new appreciation now for these people that make these
Thank you
videos.
for tuning in so you can watch us figure out how to do things as mirrored humans. Thank you for watching. Well, okay. You know, I think it's a great topic and we can definitely keep going, but Jen started, and what we usually do is check in with everybody how their week was. So I don't want us to get off before sort of checking in with one another. So Jaris, you shared a bit.
Yeah. Let me go first, please.
Hang on, I got to in the middle.
Before the wonderful people that I'm discussing pop up. My week, after the conversation with you and Mike, I just sat back and started to make adjustments mentally before I started to verbally make them. And Mike and I had a conversation, I believe it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. And he just kept telling me, you don't have to keep saying anything. That's your problem. Why do you think you have to keep talking to these people? Keep doing what you're doing. And I said, you know what? That's my problem. I'm so busy vibrating this high, but I want to come down and say, hey, now I'm learning, just continue to do me. So I can't put a check mark on anything. I can't measure it because I'm still in the early stages, but I can say now, as far as I'm feeling, as far as my health, mindset is back to where it should be. So ask me that question next week and I should be able to give you a better answer. But, so far my week is going great.
That's great.
Good news back to back. Good news back to back.
Yeah. And seeing you all over the place. Yeah.
Rolling.
Love it. All right. Mike, I'm putting you in the middle because you have a mouthful of food.
No, I just finished the chips. We're good. This is what happens when you put me around real food. Like, I have some Starbucks, 3 shots of espresso. This is like real life again for 2 days. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. How has this week been? That's almost like satire. It's almost like a satire. How's this week been? Oh, Monday was, I don't even remember what Monday was. What's today? Hang on. Let's start here. What is today? Today's Thursday, right? So Thursday now?
We're all here. It's Thursday.
Thursday while we're here. But that day.
So Tuesday was court. Didn't go as I wanted. So it was a train wreck. I fell asleep at 9 o'clock on the couch and just passed out because I was so burnt out from life. Yesterday was actually a really good day, an amazing day. And today, other than being delirious because I've been up since 2:30 in the morning, I'm having a great day. I mean, I'm exhausted. I can't even see straight. I'm on, I think, my 11th shot of espresso.
Why are you awake? You don't have Sid to wake you. Why are you awake at 2 in the morning? You don't have Sid to wake you.
Put him on the spot, Nancy.
Right, but I don't have Sid to keep me asleep either. So I don't know. Like, I think I missed a head in my ribs. It was a long night. It was a long night. I should have just slept on the couch. I fall asleep better sitting straight up. 9 shots of espresso later, I'm still ready to fall on my face. No, 11. Oh. 11 shots. Wait, this is another 3. Okay. Felicia, would I have 3 with you today? I had 3 with you today earlier too. Okay, and then I had 2 double shot cans, and now this is another triple, or maybe I don't know. Whatever it is, it's a lot of espresso. It's just not doing the trick. We should burn out.
I think it might be doing the trick. Jen or Felicia, you want to go next?
Yeah, I can go. Okay, so this week, if I'm being completely real and honest, which I always will be with you, it's been an emotional week for me. I didn't recognize it at first, but this is my cancer week. This is my 8 years ago I found out I had cancer. And I didn't. And it's also my son turns 21 in 2 days week. And I didn't realize it right away, but I caught it. 3 days ago, I caught it and it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, why am I so emotional? Why am I getting so heavily hit? And then I looked back and it was the day that I found out I had a tumor in my throat. And, we don't realize it right away how many things can just sit in our cells and how many things can show back up. I'm grateful for the week and the fact that now I was able to release it. Like, now I know what's been triggering me this time of year every year. And I thought it was one thing, but it was another thing. So now that the knowledge is released. So it's been emotional in a very beautiful way for me. And I've been looking forward to this moment all week long. So The conversations that come through growth just provide so much depth. I look to the conversations I had today alone, and the depth that we can bring when we get outside of ourselves. It makes me emotional because it tells me how much more that we can bring to people when we're just us. And we don't let the imposter in, and we just speak from the heart, and we're just who we are in ourselves. So
I'm grateful for this week, and I know it's emotional for you, but I'm grateful for this week because the fighter in you made sure you made it to this week.
Yeah.
And we have you with us on our journey.
Yes, I'm so grateful for all of you. So, yes, thank you for that. Thank you.
Of course. All right, Felicia, because I'm in charge. I get to go last.
Person who controls the button. So this week has been great, and to even include like this, day. I started off my morning with a networking meeting where I was giving a presentation to where I once again came out of the closet to my networking group. And so, like I said, telling them about, my clairaudience and using cards. And so one of the cards from this week summed it up for me, which was I went from vulnerable to freedom today from this morning. And like my spirit guides were with me. I mean, I had like a ladybug swirling over my head, like, and it went into the light. And I was like, of course it did. And then, coming out my house and the taxi cab in the neighborhood was 222, 222, and going down the hill. It was like just the loving embrace of all of that today. It was such a great feeling. And then I got to connect with Mike today in person, who, it is always great to have a conversation with him. And then, co-created, manifested this experience to be on this call with y'all today. So I'm wrapping up the end of the night, with all of that. So it's been a great, experience. And so, yeah, that's how my week has been going.
And I can feel that. Thank you for sharing that with me, with us, because I can feel your energy. You're radiating on camera. So thanks.
She's better in person. She's better in person. Even better in person, I'm telling you.
No, well, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that.
Amazing.
All right,
she doesn't mind sitting in the rain.
All right, here we go. I want to start first also this comment, like such great news, Dorothea. I love it. I love it. I love it. And celebrating, so lots to celebrate. It sounds like this week, not just for us, but for our island family out there.
That's
Thanks
awesome.
for sharing with us, Dorothea. Yeah, it's beautiful. Okay, my week has been super busy with all sorts of amazing things. I have been really boundaried this week, probably over boundaried, just because I felt like I had not been taking care of myself and keeping boundaries and wanting to be there for the people I love and, wanting to help and support everyone. So that's good. It's hard. It's super hard for me to disengage, quote unquote, and just have that space that's mine and guard it. That's difficult for me. So I'm enjoying the challenge. I'm enjoying being so aware of it. I started my day with a great call meeting an amazing human who absolutely leads by example and lives his values. And it's so obvious. It's so apparent that he's doing that his energy was just amazing to spend some time with him this morning. And then I have been putting a ton of energy into something I'm very passionate about, which is, Brian Schulman's show, Shout Out Saturday. It has its 150th episode on Saturday. And he's, in true Brian fashion, he has decided, we're going to celebrate. And what does he want to do? He wants to have 150 guests on his show for the 150th episode. So we've been working on getting everybody slotted and informed about all that. And it's been crazy, but it's been amazing. The amount of support, the outpouring of love, the people who couldn't wait to say yes was a really nice energy to be in. Yay! And then, being here tonight, I'm always happy. There's my Raquel. There she is. You made it.
I literally just walked in the door with my friend. I'm like, hey, I'm going to get on the live really quick. He's like, okay. And he's literally sitting right here. Hi.
Hi, you made it.
This is like New Year's all around.
What?
I wasn't a part of New Year's.
I said this is going to be like New Year over again.
For the record, I was
I
not.
haven't been drinking that much. We did share 2 bottles of wine. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Just one.
Well, we're glad you made it.
Yeah. So, anyways, I just wanted to hop on and say hi.
Hi. How was your week?
I'm gonna say you might as well tell us how your week or
Good.
how your day is going. Yeah.
No, I just had dinner. I have a good friend of mine who has an office here in and he hasn't been here a while. He was like, hey, I'm going to be working out of the office. Like, come meet me for dinner. So we had dinner.
Nice.
Yeah, and I saw Jaris earlier today.
Like in person for real?
No, we had a call.
Oh, okay.
In my bathrobe.
Ooh, okay. That's a different show.
I literally was in my bathrobe. It was awesome. It was an awesome bathrobe, right, Jaris?
Yeah. Yeah, awesome bathrobe, awesome show. Had a good time.
It wasn't a show, Jared.
I mean, not show, awesome.
I'm like, what are we saying?
Oh boy.
Oh, wow.
Oh boy.
And this is why we show up every week.
We had fun though.
We did have fun.
I don't know when we don't have fun together, so I love that.
Did Mike give you a big old hug from me? I hope he did.
He did.
Okay, because I literally was like, Mike, make sure you give Felicia a big old hug for me. So I wanted to make sure he did that.
He did. He spread the love for sure for you. I was like, okay, I feel it. Yes, he was a conduit for you. Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Thanks for sending it.
Good. Mike, how you feeling?
How I feeling?
Yeah, how are you
Yeah, I
feeling?
got hit by a Mack truck. I'm excited.
You got hit by a what?
A Mack truck.
Mack truck. I'm so tired. I've been up since 2:30 in the morning.
You didn't sleep last night, I know, but I just was curious, if you're doing better.
He's on 12 shots of espresso, apparently.
I'm just tired.
13.
13.
3 ounce. Oh my God. Have you guys ever been on the phone with him when he's ordering his coffee?
They've not had the privilege.
No.
Oh, it's awesome.
Quite a few times. I'll take a latte. Make sure it's a 3 ounce espresso. I don't care what size the latte is. I don't want any whipped cream on it. I don't want any of that stuff. Just make sure it's a 3 ounce espresso. Am I right?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Pretty simple. I mean, they could just give me a funnel and espresso, and I do that too. I'm all for it. I don't care.
3 ounce espresso shot, please. 3 ounce. I don't know why 3 ounce. What's the thing with the 3 ounce?
Because when you get a double shot, sometimes they give you 1.5 ounces instead of 2 ounces. So they cheat you out on that. They cheat you on the 0.5 ounce. So you've got to make sure you ask for 3 full ounces, or else you're only getting like 2.5 ounces, and then you're just paying for 3 and not getting the 3 ounces. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you got to double check. You can't be
I
careful.
feel like my cousin Vinny. Screw you at the drive-thru.
No, he's hilarious in the drive-thru. He's really funny, actually.
I'm really nice. I don't know.
You're really, you're very respectful, very funny, very nice, all of that, right? But it's hilarious because
Is he so Mike about it?
but I feel like I've been in the drive-thru with him so many times. And then today I thought Michelle was in the car. I go, is that Michelle laughing? He goes, no, it's you. You're laughing at yourself. Remember?
She was laughing at her own self on the Bluetooth. It was awesome.
I know. I thought it was Michelle. I'm like, oh, it's Michelle laughing at me. He's like, nobody's in the car. I'm like, what? He's like, no, you're laughing at yourself. I'm like, okay, that's great.
That's not surprising in any way, shape, or form.
That was pre 2 bottles of wine. So just imagine how much better that would get.
Totally.
But she was on the phone with me when I got lost on the way to Felicia. So she was on the phone when I got lost.
You're welcome.
He was.
Like,
He found his
wrong
way.
turn after wrong turn after wrong turn.
Michael's really nice.
Big city.
You're
I
exploring
just don't know how to
Africa?
handle people anymore. I had to be around people. After I was jumping up and down, my energy was flying through the roof. I couldn't even control it. It was insane.
Do you feel recharged? Do you feel
I'm in
like
trouble when I have to deal with people.
Maybe your energy's a
I mean,
little
I
insane.
did. Now I just feel like.
we're on like some
What
weird
do you say?
We're
I
on
said,
some weird way.
I said, I wonder if any of that energy is coming from your 13 espresso shots.
No, not at all. Actually, down.
It's so funny that you have better reception in the middle of nowhere
It helps me sleep at night.
than here at this hotel.
No, right?
Then I do it at the hotel.
Is this how it's been all night?
Shut up.
No, it might be you.
Oh,
Yeah.
oops.
It might be your energy. Don't oops. It's all good.
She's gonna fall out of her own chair.
No, I'm
My girl knows how to hold her own. Don't you worry about it.
believe me, like I'm good.
She's just fine. Me, on the other hand, when you're out here, by the way, it's like 7 sleeps and a wake up. I can't.
I know Nancy is so adorable because like 3 days ago I get a text that says 9 sleeps and a wake up, and I'm like, how the hell does she? She's like counting down the days. I don't even know. Nancy's the one that knows.
I'm so excited. I'm so freaking excited. You have no idea. Of course, I'm counting down.
I'm like, what?
It's how we operate. It's absolutely perfect. She's my best friend. All right, sorry. Now everybody else can participate. We're done.
Wow, he's like, what the hell is happening over here?
Yeah, this is what happens.
Yeah. All right.
Sleeps.
Well, I'll let you guys get going.
All right.
Go back your bottle of tequila.
Have fun.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say goodbye. I'm just gonna say goodbye, and then I'm gonna go freaking in bed. I'm gonna go out. It's 9:30. It's late.
Late.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
I know. I just wanted to hop on and say I love you guys.
Love you. Glad you did.
We love you.
Man, you're gonna get a big old hug and kiss soon.
Gosh, I can't wait.
You and Brian and Michael, like it's gonna be freaking
I'm
amazing.
not sure the universe is ready for the 4 of us to be in the same place
I
at the same
know,
time.
isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
Yeah, so we'll be together.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Watch out, world.
I say maybe we have to make sure we're together on a Thursday.
Well, I fly out on Wednesday. But Michael doesn't come out. Michael doesn't come out to the following. So it could be you, me, and Brian on a Thursday.
Okay. Good, we'll talk.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yes, we absolutely will. Are you?
Jaris is eating something.
The power of observation.
Is that finger looking good?
Go into it.
I tried to sneak one in there while y'all was conversating.
What? I know, right? Okay, all right. I love you all.
Love you, girl.
Love you too.
Mwah.
All right. How are we feeling, Island Misfits?
Feeling great.
Yeah.
Great.
Trying to sneak a snack in, but
It's funny, Jaris, that you would think anything would get past this group that is like the observant, see everything, feel everything group. Like you were thinking about a snack. We knew it.
I'm just glad to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all make me feel so comfortable, so thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm right back.
Okay, bye. Anybody else?
Any more coffee?
Oh, good.
All
Anything
right,
more coffee?
Yeah, that's what he said.
yeah.
You know, Mike. That's an awful lot of caffeine. And what's coming up for everybody this week? We energize.
Coffee pot. So this is awesome.
Let's see.
Got my birthday coming up next month. So
Oh, when?
yeah, I'm trying to plan a trip. I'm thinking about Miami. I really want to go to Puerto Rico, but you know, so much going on in the world. But thinking about Miami. My birthday's April 11th, so when I get off, I'm going to book the hotel rooms, you know, the flight, and see how that works out.
It's going to work out because it's going to work out.
Thank you.
It's meant to be.
Thank you.
Look at that. That's
Already
my
happened.
birthday. So you're an Aries.
Yeah, you said whose birthday it is?
My daughter.
Okay, cool. What day is she on?
April 11th.
Oh, same day.
That's cool. That is cool.
Hey, Cap, come out to Arkansas. There's no people around. You'll be fine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Isn't that where you want to celebrate your birthday?
There's only one reason why I would come to Arkansas, but I'm not going to say it on camera, but it's okay.
So we'll start amplifying and energizing your birthday now, Jaris.
Yes, let's do that. And y'all know I celebrate for 30 days, so we can
Look at the
start
month.
now.
Birthday month, absolutely.
Here, all month long. It's a birthday month, not day, huh? Month.
Right.
All right, Jen, what can we amplify and energize for you this week?
What can you amplify and energize for me this week? So I had, this one could be, and I'm excited to get her in front of all of you. I had a young lady in a conversation today. She actually started the company Vision Mental Health. And this young lady is just, she's got so many amazing things on her heart and so many things on her brain, but she doesn't have a team. And she reached out to me tonight and we had a conversation. We'll be in conversation weekly. And I just keep her in your thoughts. And if you get a chance, check out Vision Mental Health, because this young lady, you guys, she has so many brilliant things that she wants to bring to life, and help just stay in my universal space of energy in front of her for conversation would be beautiful. Please.
Got you.
Thank you.
Got you. All right. Felicia, what can we amplify and energize for you this week?
I'm like looking at my schedule, like, If I continue to just, be open to new connections, and as, like I said, more people are finding out about my, abilities, that I will continue to, own that and be strong in that, and yeah, so I would say that would probably be what you guys can amplify.
Awesome. We got you. Got you, Jaris. Got Jen. Good night. Yeah, you look good. I think we just need to amplify and energize you this week.
Well, there's only one day left, right? Like tomorrow's Friday, so that's all that's left for the week. So
well, no,
I think surviving this week.
Till we're back together next Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, what do I need to amplify? I mean, I'm doing everything I need to do. I mean, I'm just doing the healing journey, and I'm taking it one day at a time, and just, doing the live shows and just living my life and helping as many people as possible on a daily basis. That's it. That's all I do.
I love you, but the question was, how can we amplify and energize you? Not
by
what
helping
you're
me deflect to everything else. By helping me deflect to everything else. No, not gonna work. I don't know.
It's interesting how we have a hard time asking others, right? to do what we do for other people all the time? Like, what can we?
That's why I try not to let people laugh. They just throw it in their face.
Sound like that's what we might need to amplify. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that will be opened up for Mike.
There you go. All right, Mikey. That's it.
All right.
I think I have to put myself in. I don't feel victimized. I feel loved and supported. I'm asking for energy from some of the most powerful people I know. Right? Support and abundance. For me, it's right now just for me, for the allow, for the letting go of controlling it, for my exploration and my anchoring. So if it's okay with you all, I will tie myself to you guys this week as I go about, and just hold me tight. That's all. Make sure I'm with you. Thank you.
Raquel's here in spirit.
She's here in spirit. She doesn't need any energy. That one doesn't need any energy.
I got what I wanted. 4 cups of coffee. Told you we amplified it.
There you go. Excellent. I don't know what's on everyone's minds, because to me that I didn't mean to do it so early, but it felt a little bit like I was wrapping up. Sorry.
We still have a few more minutes.
Yeah.
Well, it's 1-1-1-1-1-1. So.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Hey, Jen, pick a topic.
Okay, I have, if you saw my posts, like I have things come to me all the time. So how about this? Answer this question. I am at my best when?
When I sleep more than 4 hours.
Oh my God.
Put down the coffee.
I can pick another. I have several on my desk to connect.
I mean, we can answer it.
Yeah, I am at my best when.
You're going to answer for real, or am I taking it out of the middle, Mike?
When I'm holding space for others.
I'm at my best when I allow. Just be and allow.
Mine went to my work, and I've always described it as I'm at my best when time is running short. I got to present something, and I just thrive in that energy.
Thank you, Felicia.
She likes the pressure cooker.
Mm-hmm.
We need people like her. They get people like me going.
My turn.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a good question, y'all.
You're in the hot seat.
I know I'm at my best when the pressure's on, my back is up against the wall. I know that. Something that I'm noticing too, by me practicing what I preach, a lot of people are just popping up and like challenging me on it. Just random people, maybe at the gas station. I was there's a situation going on with another girl, 2 females, nothing relationship wise. I just knew what was going on, and one of them just seen me at the gas station, and she was just pushing my buttons, just live in action. It wasn't playing. She was like, "What's up with this?" And I heard, and I was like, so in the moment, I'm deflecting everything and just saying the right stuff. And a friend of mine was watching the whole time, and he was like, "Wow, man!" He said, "People always try to poke you and try to stab you in the back right to your face," and he said, "You handle it so well." So I'm just guessing, under pressure, under fire, that's when I'm, you call on me when it's game time.
Beautiful. All right, we have time. You want to throw another one at us? And I did put in the comments, because it occurred to me as listening to you all speak, is like, I'm at my best, period.
I love that.
I love that a lot.
And I'm going to take that. I'm telling you tonight, I'm going to take it, borrow it, and absolutely run with it. Because I don't like just being at my best when I'm under pressure, because sometimes I know me. A lot of people don't know me, but I know myself very well. I'm nice and kind and all this kind of stuff, but I can get a little crazy. So I don't want to be my best when it's a problem or when it's a situation. Well, I can't be my best at all times. Thank you, Nancy, again.
How do we feel? We have 15 minutes. I like this, Jen. I would love another one.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jen, let's go, Jen.
All right.
Keep going, Jen.
Yes. Oh, wait, I didn't go. I'm at my best.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Using my voice. I'm in my best when I listen to me. When I listen to me about when I'm depleted and I need to adjust my day. I'm at my best when I listen to the intuition that comes in and I use that in guiding my light. I'm at my best when I listen to me. So, all right, you guys, if you saw my ideas on my desk, I could go a couple different ways. We could say, now this one I think is important for everybody because I'll closet in saying it came from a lot of the conversations that I had today specifically, that the people I was in conversation with are afraid to ask. They're afraid to ask for that referral. They're afraid to ask for whatever it is. So the question that I wrote down is, what stops you from the ask? What stops you from the ask in however form that ask is, whether it's an ask of a referral, an ask of new business, an ask of, I need help, give me help,
I'll jump in.
Yes.
This conversation I've been, like I say, on Clubhouse, just having this conversation for the last maybe month. And Mike and I had this conversation as well. One of the reasons I have a problem asking for help is I was raised to not ask for help. Yeah. Another problem is my vision, my insights are so clear that I know the path I'm on. I'm going to get to the destination. If there's a destination, I'm going to get to certain points in my life. So it's hard for me to ask for help when I know I'm going to do it anyway. But what I'm learning is maybe deep down inside, I'm scared to ask for help because I'm scared, because I'm fearful, and I don't know how to do that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
See, why I used to show up more so asking for help is that everyone's level of quality was not at the level that I would expect it to be. So it's easier for me just to do it my daggone self and just be done with it versus getting something that's half-assed.
I say Mike doesn't. Yeah, Mike doesn't seem ready. Are you ready?
I love that, Felicia.
I'm ready.
And I think that's so super honest, Felicia, because I think all of us probably would say, yeah, if I do it myself, it's going to get done right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. If I let somebody else do it, and I have that letting go of okay, they're going to do it their way. Right. Except for no, I want it done my way.
What was the question?
Thank you for actually listening to us, Mike. We really appreciate it. How present you are.
I have up until this question.
What stops you from the ask? What holds you back from the ask?
It's two things. I don't want to be a burden and fear of rejection.
So let me put a spin on it. Since this is an issue that I know I've been battling with, you all open up. I had a whole room in Clubhouse just talking about the same thing. How do we get past this? When we know we need help, I mean, it's okay to ask for help. I was programmed as a supervisor to put people together to help each other. Mike put us together to help each other. So how do we, Nancy or Jen, Felicia, what's one step would you give me to say, okay, how do I ask for help?
I think you're smart and intuitive. And I think that if you listen to when you're considering asking for help, that's your no. And to if you are paying attention to the people around you, you know the people who will show up if you ask. And just keep reminding yourself that. That would be my 2 cents on it.
I would agree with everything Nancy said, and I would add, remind yourself how brave you are, because to me, that's where sometimes I historically in the past have gotten stuck, is I thought if I ask for help, it makes me weak. When in all actuality, if you ask for help and you say, here's what's going on, I need help, it makes us freaking strong. It means that we're strong enough to say, yeah, I don't got this. And I'm strong enough to admit it to myself to say, I need a hand on this one and I need perspective on this, whatever I have going on.
My advice would be know who you're asking.
Mm.
And that's probably connected to also knowing what you need help with, and then asking the person that can really help you. Because I think, it could be frustration to kind of like what I was saying before. If you're asking for help from a person that's not equipped or able to provide the help that you need, it will be frustrating. And then it'll go back to the lie of like, see, that's why I don't ask for help from nobody. So ask the right person. Know who you're asking.
Let's get it a little bit more personal, since I know this is a safe space for us, right? And I need the help. We pick on Mike all the time, but Felicia, I am approached by people on a daily basis that are volunteering their help. Jaris, how can we help you? How can I help you get to this level? And I don't have an answer. So it's not that I have a problem looking or not knowing who's there. I have people who just come out, and I know who are in a position to help me on this journey that I'm on. But I don't, even when they come at me and say, how can I help you? I don't have an answer. There's 2 people in my DMs right now that I know can make life-changing decisions for me. But I haven't even responded to them because I don't know what to say.
So the question that came to mind is, what is your history with, do you have issues with, you don't want to owe nobody anything?
All the time, yes. That's my thing. I do not want to owe anybody.
So that's why
I know what it's like when people owe me, and I don't like that.
Yep. So that's why you don't ask for help, because you feel like you're going to owe them. So instead of you probably looking at it as a reciprocity or a giver's gain, or somebody flowing that energy that you've been putting out to probably many people, you're blocking that because you think, I'm gonna owe that person something, and I do not want to owe anybody anything. So you'll have to do that work of figuring out what's connected to that feeling of you owe somebody something.
That's what I say, is what's not being expressed. What is that holding back, trying to communicate? What's not being expressed? What's there?
Well, I think that's something I'm gonna have to honestly look at myself, because this is like all the time. I just was talking to one of the owners at the hotel that I manage, and I know they want to help me. And now that I look at myself and have to face it, that's what it is. I just don't want to be the person who owes anybody. I don't know if it was just I was raised to feel like that. So, Jen, Nancy, how do I redirect or transition my mindset to be open to it? Because I'm always helping other people.
So, how do you feel when you help others? Do you feel they owe you anything?
No, I don't even want to mention. A lot of times I do stuff it's just in my nature, second nature. I'm going to help you. Don't even think nothing about it in passing. Keep going. Don't say nothing. Keep it between us. Whatever. Who cares? To me, that's how life should be. So I don't feel like I'm doing anything. I just feel like I'm doing what a human being is supposed to do.
I'm going to give you what I would say to me. Who are you then to have different rules for you than for everyone else? If that's the way life's supposed to be, who are you to decide it doesn't apply to you?
I got one even better. Who are you to stop universal flow?
Right.
You're so big at putting it out there, then you're becoming the stopgap from it continuing.
Right.
Get out of my way.
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes in responding to those people, this is where I'm looking to go. This is my message. This is what I want to carry forth in my life. How do you suggest that you could help me get where I need to be?
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to put it back on if they have more experience. And now that we're at an hour and 24 minutes, I am finally waking up. Go, Mike.
You see that? Jaris,
Let's go for 3 hours. I'm with now.
That's exactly what I was going to add is legitimately, if you can get around the fact of accepting the help, do you know what you need? Do you know that what would propel you further? To Mike's point, ask them, because they, I'm sure from a marketing perspective, could know how to get your name in front of their clientele. But also, what would be helpful for you? You know what your mission is. You know what your vision is. What are some pieces that you think they could help you with that you just don't have right now?
I know I got it in my brain, lined up. I know exactly. I was telling Mike the other day, we had this conversation. I know what can help propel me, but I think it's just not wanting to owe anybody. And two, the world, from my experiences, I guess they've been bad when I have asked for help. I think a lot of it was people that I thought were helping me were actually all in it for themselves. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. I was my last production supervisor job, right? I had all these fine people. Jaris, we want to help you, okay. So I'm telling them, look, this is exactly what I need. And they were giving it to me. And I was like, wow, these people got my best interests in mind. And come to find out, I was being stabbed, undercut, you name it, dancing with the devil the entire time. And even when it came down to the point where I had to quit because there was just too much going on, the same people that put me in that position that I thought were helping me, I was thinking they were going to come to me and say, no, don't quit. We can help you do this. They were like, all right, there's the door. Now, this is coming from somebody who helped turn the whole thing around, not single-handedly, but I had a crew. I knew them. I built the relationships, blah, 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 safety, quality, everything turned around. We single-handedly turned that entire plan around. So even the people that worked up under me was telling me, like, why do they hate you so much? And that right there, I guess it just left a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to asking for help when I found out, like, man, they really didn't give two craps about me. Still to this day, I see some of those people and I avoid them because I'm like, man, I put my trust in you to help me, and I thought you were helping me, and the whole time, you would stab me in my back every chance you could get.
You got to release.
Yeah. How did that propel you forward? How did that?
It showed me no matter what they thought, they only helped because even though they gave me hell every single day, I would sit in my car and 20 minutes before the shift, I was dreading going to work. It was like dancing with the devil. So it helped me to realize I knew how strong I was. It also helped me to know that from other people telling me, despite whatever I was going through, we still performed very well to this day. They still talk about our numbers. We still broke records. So it showed me I was stronger than what I knew. But at the same time, the pain and hurt is still there. And I don't like to even get there because way we were brought up, you don't talk about the pain and the hurt. You're a man, you eat it up, you deal with it. But you guys have just now let me see that bothered me.
And Jaris, also remember that people are going to be threatened by your greatness, by your energy, by your power, by who you are and what you can do and your successes, because they're unfortunately in a place of feeling inadequate next to you rather than privileged to learn from you.
Yeah.
I never thought about it that way. Wow. I've got a lot to think about, y'all. And that's something that I don't do. I haven't been doing. But when I do meditate and get to myself, I'm able to calculate everything in my mind. And I think that's something I haven't been doing. So I'm going to take some downtime just to kind of organize myself because I do feel the pressure's on. And this is what I enjoy doing. And I know it's time for me to turn my game up to a different level to reach more people.
So, Cap, I have another bold request. Within the ask, if there's anything, I can only speak for myself, but I think I can speak for everybody here. If there's anything we can do to help you continue
Uh-oh, yeah.
I have no interest.
So
No interest. Don't throw me in that bit.
However, I can help. I'll speak for myself.
You can speak for me.
With your word and your name and everything you're working to do, I'm all in. So just count me into that and just let me know how I can help, because I will.
I'm offering help as well, Jaris. I'm offering my help.
Y'all helping now. You're helping me realize, and I appreciate you, Nancy, for the conversation we had Sunday. I think it was Sunday, because you showed me that, like, it's okay, stop trying to be like you got everything under control. It's okay to fail. It's okay to not know. It's okay to live. And part of it is I got so much pressure on me because the path that I'm on, my entire family, my kids, my mama, just everybody that's in my circle, everybody I come in contact with that know me, it's like they're depending on me. And I know I can handle it, but it's like, I don't want to mess up. I'm too afraid to mess up. And I know you're going to mess up.
And you're going to teach them along the way.
That's right.
You're leading by example.
That's right.
Indeed.
That helps.
And what a perfect way to say goodnight it is. We're at 90 minutes, and we did make a promise to one another that despite how well our conversations were going, because we have the ability to go on and on and on, that we would stop at about 90 minutes. So who wants to say goodnight first?
Aloha.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Good night, first.
Thanks for joining us, Felicia.
Absolutely.
Good night. Thank you, Felicia, for being here, sharing your wisdom with us and your energy. Thank you.
Yes, the new Misfit. The new Misfit.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure. And good night to everyone that was commenting with us. Thank you for your energy and your comments. We appreciate that as well.
Absolutely.
Look, rest well, everyone.
Yeah. Good night, all.
Thanks, everyone.
Good night, y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
All right.